Wait, what? Oh no. Oh, what the fuck? Where? Oh, there you are. Oh my god. Okay. Damn, is that even charged then? Okay. World may never know if Snakes will ever finish this damn drawing. That's progress. Blue eyes. I forgot to ask. Hmm. Everyone's just been so sleepy today. It's got a really hard time waking up and getting out of bed, particularly because it was just warm enough where it wasn't necessarily uncomfortable. I was just so tired. May Digital Circus. Yeah. I have to try to mess up my recommendations again soon. Sometimes I'll just search a bunch of random stuff, just trying to find the weird side of YouTube again, so I can ruin my recommendations. I like to fuck up the algorithm every now and then, keep it on its toes. Good luck with figuring that stuff out. Posture check. Hibernation check. This is still loading. Give it a minute. Ow. Were the pierogies fucking frozen in there? I hope your nails aren't brittle due to any nutritional deficiencies. Because mine are, and it sucks. Mm. Jeez, yeah, what was wrong with that box of pierogies? Mm. I know some people use tapas. I'm pretty sure Webtoon is comics. There's like some. There's just some like even Tumblr and stuff. People post their comics there. Usually they'll just edit the post to be like, uh, previous page, next page, and they'll put links to the pages. So there's that kind of thing. I'm pretty sure Tapas is free. I do not know how DeviantArt is doing for comics these days. There are a lot of good guides to like making your own website and like using some sort of free host for it. Mm. Me, I'm pretty sure I just use Roster. I don't really need to use Vector Layer most of the time. Isn't Vector for like if it's something that needs to be resized a whole bunch or like printed or something like that? I actually don't know. I just haven't had to use that setting, so I just stick with Roster. Oh yeah, I could whenever my pen dies, I can probably try to do a demo of how the animation in this works, like a very basic version, because I'm not like a master at it. But we could like mess around with it together. Did Okay, wow, yeah, my pen just died. Yeah, I like remade a DeviantArt and then I closed it again purely because of that nonsense. Ugh, hiccups. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, any 10's pinkish, they both 10 pinkish, so I'll have to consider that. Mm, it's true, I don't. Like, I went out of my way to get Close Studio purely because, a lot of other artists are talking about how good it is, and it has, like, a simple animation program. Timeline. Nope, son of a bitch. Did not mean to open this. I haven't actually used the cells thing before. I probably should, because you can do light table and stuff on here. Background noise. Like, it's gonna be a bouncing ball, but it's gonna be a bouncing rock. Okay, it should start at the top, duh.
Like this comment if you're leaning on your left hand.
Shut up! So, what do you want to do? Whoa, that's crazy. Man, we've been spending way too much time together. Like, damn. Like, damn. Damn. Okay, stop copying me.
I like back up
Stop
to the top.
copying
Okay.
me! Dude, this is kind of freaking me out. Okay, you stop talking and I'll say something.
No
Say
timeline.
something. No, you don't talk, I will. No, you don't talk, god damn it. Okay, seriously, what the f***? I got it. Say something completely random. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bananarama, what the f***? Why would you even think to say that too? It's not even a real word. Okay, let's just not talk. Okay, it's gotta be over now. Shit. I know, let's just text each other instead.
Okay.
What the hell would you say that again? It doesn't even make sense! This has to stop now! I'm serious, stop! Stop! I'm talking so fast you can't possibly keep up with what I'm saying! Damn it! Ah! Woof woof! Even animal noises? God! Meow! F***! That's it! I'm gonna knock you out so I don't hear your stupid voice saying everything I'm saying! Eat this, bitch! Wait, I don't know how to punch! It's finally over.
Stop right there! Why did you murder him?
You got it all wrong, man. Something really weird happened. We started saying everything at the same time, and it was driving us crazy, but now it's over. It's finally over! Oh, let me get it.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, there's like a simple. It's a bouncing rock. It's not very good. It is in fact quite bad. But like
And so the talking curse continued for years on end. So children, be wary, for if ever you speak at the same time with someone else, the curse might fall on you.
Hey, Michael, what are you doing?
Oh, just finishing up this narration about some phony talking
I don't
curse.
know how these work.
Want to grab lunch?
Absolutely. Haha, very funny. No, seriously, cut that out. I need to finish this narration. Stop that. Fine. I guess we have to take care of this the old-fashioned way. Really? You're not gonna back down on this one? Damn you, curse. Damn you!
To see bloopers and this,
Not sort of search files. I'm honestly not entirely sure how the cells
click the
thing
video
works.
Right here.
Because most of the time I just work with the timeline, which is this,
Thanks for subscribing.
where each layer is like a frame, and then you move the layers into position. Make it real small, and like you change the amount of speed each layer has. That's like what I usually do. I honestly don't know how the cells thing works. There's just a bouncing rock. is not great, but yeah. The fuck is it? That looks kind of fun. Yeah. So it's like, you know, you make a new timeline and you go, what's your frame rate? I usually make mine like 8 FPS is going to be pretty slow, 60 FPS is going to be very, very fast. But also in this version of Clip Studio, I can't exactly, damn it. I can't exactly save, like, a lot of, like a large animation. So you choose, like, how many frames you want each thing to take up. If you want it to be longer, let it go longer. If you want it to be slower, if you want it to be longer, you know, slower, let it have more space. And if you want it to be quicker, let it have less space. That's pretty much what I usually do. It's very simple, and you know, you just go along and edit each layer as you need it. I honestly don't know how to use cells. I should probably look up how to use animation cells. It might help me, but yeah, for like real simple animations, you can do easy stuff like this. And then when you export an animation, you go to File and Export Animation, and you can turn it into a GIF or an animated sticker. For some reason in this version of Clip Studio, I don't know if you could do it in the nicer version, but you can only save things with like a flat background unless they're an APNG. And APNG isn't supported by all things that you might want to upload them to. Oh, God. You can also make like a movie file with it so it only plays once, that kind of thing. Like if I export this, well, I'll have to save it as something first, and then it'll ask me like, how many frames? Do you want it to be unlimited, or do you only want it to play once? That kind of thing. So yeah, it's pretty simple. No timeline for here. There's a little thing on the back of these. Food battle? Appreciating anybody, and I gotta figure out which cross-hatching sort of dealy I would like for the skin, because I would like the skin to have a bit more texture, but like really light texture. That's what I used in the... That could work. Do like that cross-hatching. Soot. I'm not entirely sure what tone scraping is. That was the one I used on the sleeve. I might just use that. Dang. Wild. Geez, 2015. I can't remember how old you were, but were you like way too young for watching that kind of stuff? Although I also saw some pretty wild stuff when I was a kid, so it just doesn't matter. It just feels like old school YouTube where LOL to randoms was comedy. And it was pretty funny when I was a teenager. And now these days I'm just like, well, my comedic tastes sure have changed since those days. Ah, so your sister was probably watching this stuff. What is that? Oh, that's right. Mm. Mhm. No, it doesn't make any sense. No, our edgy Pinocchio game. It's feeling so neglected and alone. Sometimes it is good to step away from a piece and then go do something else. And sometimes it can like help you realize what you're missing or what you didn't like that you're doing or something like that. This guy looks like someone's BJD.
Can you hear me? I hope this reaches you. This city is falling apart. Chaos, madness, death. And there might be no going back. But you can change that. It depends on the choice you make. Truth. Or lie.
I like this creepy old lady. Big surprise, my favorite character is creepy old lady. She looks like she has a sad backstory, so that's even better.
I might be asking too much of you. But I don't have a choice. Only you can do this. Please, help me.
You know, she could turn out to be a conniving evil old hag. That's also interesting.
Finally, we meet, son. The stage is set.
The light shines brightest in the darkest of times.
All right, buddy, I'm here for you. Don't worry.
Almost sounded like Claptrap for a second. And be like, my boy, what are you doing here?
Don't give up.
Keep
It looks very Soulsborne inspired.
Protect.
For a second I misread that as Gestapo and I was like, what?
Full well. Your destiny.
It was like, oh wait, yeah, Geppetto is Pinocchio, yeah. Wild. What's in the box?
Hop in the box, liar.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, what is it called? Scorn? I want to play Scorn. It looks really wild. Those are two pretty great features of a game. I have Ash to Ash from Cinderella's Castle stuck in my head again. And earlier I had Castle on a Hill stuck in my head, so I just decided to watch the whole thing over again. I didn't finish the last part of it, though. I'm gonna play the last part of it.
Ella had saved the kingdom, and the gathered nobles from lands near and far showered her with gratitude. But alas, the praise would not return what the trolls had taken. Ella went home to a ruined house, to that clearing in the wood, to pay her respects to two dear girls departed.
There's in the subtool for fill, there's refer only to editing layer, then there's like refer other layers and stuff like that. If you have refer other layers, then every layer that is visible will be referred to. Meaning that like if I wanted to do a fill here, I just want like this, it's not gonna go very far because all this stuff is in the way. But if I take this out of here and then that whole thing is gonna get filled in. So that's what refer other layers is like.
Justine, Lucy, vengeance is ours. You can rest now in the greener fields beyond.
So, the girl who charmed a kingdom was Ella Ashmore all along. That soggy creature we found by the riverbed. I was a fool to doubt your worth then.
You are no fool, Thaddeus. You are a good servant. A good man. If only you had better masters.
Yes. Speaking of which, I come bearing grim news. The old king, at last, is dead. He had been ailing for some time. Perhaps his grief did him in. His only son killed.
That's like, that is one of the useful things about the fill tool. There's other like fill properties and stuff like that, but it's like if you have to go back and forth on the layers.
Who knows? I wasn't there.
And that might help
Well, I am sorry to hear it.
to know how to do the refer other layers thing.
The prince has no living relatives.
Also, there's like a bazillion windows you can have open.
Queen?
But like subtool is one of them, and it just like, if I take that away, that goes away. And it just gives you like alternate options and stuff. Yeah, I really like being able to refer multiple layers or refer all layers. Stuff like that. Refer the fill. Castle on a Hill is a fucking bop. I had it stuck in my head like all day, but I was really tired and feeling awful. And finally, when I got up to cook dinner, I was like, I'm gonna put that on in the background.
Unforgiving journey. But we've arrived at the truth.
My gift seems small, but I give it all.
My queen.
My sword. In trappings of starlight.
I love how cheesy this song is. You gotta fight the chimney sweeps.
And so, Ella's noble house.
Well, but they're like
rose
chim
from the
chimney
ashes.
chim chimney chim chim chiroo,
You see,
and
Master
you're like,
Dwarf,
motherfucker.
The night is darkest just before the dawn.
I can't
What do you
think of
think of
chimney
the story
sweeps
now?
without thinking of Mary Poppins.
Well, could have used more woodblock if you ask me. Right? Yeah, you get it. You get it.
Very true. So true. Our dear Ella was a fine queen, feared by the wicked, loved by the true. For she rewarded those with loyal hearts, and none were so loyal as her green and good friend.
Sir Hopalot, step forward.
You are my most gallant knight, and yet you have not a lily pad to your name. This will change. I shall grant thee the title of Lord and gift thee all the lands of the marsh and swamp. My masons shall raise you a keep, and there you and your forebearers shall reign from now until forever after.
But, milady, I am your sword, your shield. Who will defend you in my stead?
There is one, small but true, if you deem him worthy.
Huh? Me? He is impetuous and hot-headed, but he has learned all he can from this old frog. Kneel, Crumb. And arise,
Sir Crumb. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. My sword and my heart are yours, milady.
such honor. I taught him everything he knows.
Go forth, Lord Hopalot. Claim your lands. Sire many tadpoles.
Evil was vanquished.
Yay!
Vengeance was won.
Yay!
And our story ends where all stories do. Let's go.
Yeah.
Through a secret passageway where shadows dance and play. You're guided by wonder. You're guided by wonder. In the realm of fantasy, it's sort of a factory for stories that shudder and the kingdom that loves her. Let's go! There's a castle on a hill as the story goes.
Oh, wait.
And the queen has found her home across the moat. And far before the goddess, a monarch fierce and wise. Will her highness grace our eyes? I need to know. Will I ever know? Will I ever know? Will I ever know? Will I ever know? The queen!
The queen is coming out!
There's a castle on a hill as the story goes. And it watches over us from across the moat. Look upon its structure, yeah. There are heroes in the walls. Honey cursed are all they called. And now you know. And now you know.
Let's go. Wib. Oh yeah, there's other cool hold on. Yeah, so you got the refer other layer things, and then you get like the tool property window where there's a bunch of other cool stuff you can do, like the tolerance level, like if I wanted to fill all of this green area, like if I went like this, it'll only fill this, but if I like raise the tolerance a whole bunch, it'll fill all of the green, because you raise the tolerance for how much it will fill. There's even this like very slight difference here, based by how the you know, because I was using the brush tool, so these have like a very slight difference. It has 0 tolerance, but if I increase the tolerance, then it just goes over all the greens. And you can even increase the tolerance within like a little bit, and it gets that part that was blended between the colors. There's also area scaling, which area scaling is pretty much just like it'll go like 3 pixels beyond where you put it. So it's like if you take off area scaling, you can often get that little crunchy bit around the edge. There's like just a bunch of little things to mess with. And you have, you know, refer multiple, whereas, you know, exclude the bottom layer, exclude block layers, exclude draft layer, yeah. Yeah, you can have changed the amount of opacity that Bill has and all of that, but like there's a whole bunch of settings for this. Yeah, there's so much nonsense to get used to. There's even like, you know, all this stuff, but the subtool and the tool property have a bunch of stuff in them, and then if you need more than what is in there, you can go to the little wrench. And there's other stuff, like, and if you turn it on or off here, it'll change it in here. And you could even have, like, do not fill in this color. So it's like, if you have a specific color that you want to keep, but you want to fill everything else, you can, like, you select the color there. You can even change the blending mode on it, and stuff like that. But sometimes if there's an option, you're wondering if you can change it, but you don't see it in your little menu wherever you have it on your window, you can go to the wrench, and that will show you even more options. It doesn't... It's not an online game, but it doesn't have a true pause. What the hell? Why are they evil? Yeah, the wand tool is also useful because you can also refer to all layers or refer only to the editing layer and stuff like that. Yeah. And you can do similar things to fill that you do with the wand because it's selecting instead of filling, but you know, you can choose like how you want to fill stuff, which is pretty cool, or how you want to select stuff, and it's very similar to the fill tool. Yeah, it's like, sometimes I get why a game is dark, but also it's like, I would like to see what is happening. Where it's like, even if it's like a scary game, the darkness doesn't necessarily make it scarier, it just makes it more frustrating. Yay, lantern. Nice. Yeah, often when a game is like, make sure that you can just barely see this little thing. Like, make sure I can clearly see it, because otherwise it's probably gonna get annoying.
Before you, witness to a luminescent goddess.
No. Man, yeah, it sucks when you, like, have something you really like and then you can't find it anymore. It's like, unless the media preservation has got to it, you have to see if they uploaded it anywhere else or what. Hmm.
When I was 4, I lay in bed and paint a picture in my mind.
Yay! I'm glad one of the few things I do know about Clip Studio helped. Because yeah, you can just, if you have multiple layers and you just want to fill in across the layers, it really helps. That's usually do when I'm just like, when my pen dies and I'm flatting out colors, I'll just have like the line art and then I'll fill in under the line art and the line art will catch it and hold it in. So it only fills in like within the line art. Sometimes if I have like a little spot that's open, you know, like if you have a spot that's open, it can like escape through there. But there's this little thing, close gap, which, you know, set the width of gaps to treat as closed as it said there. So if you only have a tiny gap, it'll be able to escape, but sometimes you can make a larger gap and that'll make it so that your lines don't have to be like completely closed. Otherwise they have to be like completely closed and touching each other. But with the close gap setting, you can change it so that it can't like escape. Iteration check. I'm just letting the credits play because I like the songs in this. Definitely one of my favorite retellings of Cinderella Story. In the credits or in the short films we're talking about? Yeah, I watch the I follow the one of the artists who worked on like those illustrations at the end. Oh my god. Nothing like a good baked flan. A good flan always clears my mind. This guy's freaking me out. God, I gotta read Battle Angel Alita at some point. Okay, pen, stop responding. How long has it been? Oh, yeah, it's almost been enough time. Mm-mm. My god. The framing and ridiculousness of this almost makes it look like a JoJo panel. I hate how his chin is rendered. Mm-hmm. I guess without the pen, I can at least... One of my favorite things about Clip Studio is clip layers, where you can clip to a layer and then it'll only... I'm sure you know how clip layers work. It'll only affect the layer below it, so I can like color lines and stuff like that really easily. It's very nice. I think I remember In a Heartbeat is about the kid with the runaway heart. That was so cute. Like, one of my favorite short films is a short horror, and it's the one that it like inspired a full movie, but I feel like the short was a lot more effective because, you know, it shows you the scary thing and then it stops. It's perfect. I really like horror shorts that are like, wouldn't that be fucked up if that happened? Yeah, this one's so sweet. It's very cute. He's got a crush on this fucking nerd. I want to see how these lines look with the cloak. I guess. I won't understand any of it if it's about gameplay mechanics because I haven't like played the game yet, but I might understand a little bit of it. Oh. If it's like a longer video, I'll watch it on my own a little bit, but otherwise I could toss on in the background. Well, this definitely looks like a stand. Ow, ow, ow.
After almost 2 years of being the laughingstock of poise teams, turns out all that Honglu needed to crit was a man watching his back. And now that he's got an entire ride-or-died polycule, it's becoming everyone's problem. I joked for so long that the first time Honglu would get poise would be in his bad end ID, specifically so it would be symbolic to his character, and boy did PM deliver on that. Yes, that soda may have been soured by the fact that Walt beat him to the punch, but let's be real. Nobody cares about the poise or the rupture on this ID, and you sure as hell don't care about my personal grudges. So let's cut to the chase. TLDR, if you've got at least 4 of the following drops on screen, this ID is an automatic get. If you don't, then there are better IDs to get than the Jade Cyclops. But no matter what, it's still a bad end ID. Chances are, you'll find a way to fit this sucker into a Rupture or Slash team. But if you want to know more than that, we gotta look inside the box to see what's up with him. The Lord of Hongyong Honglu is a Poise Rupture hybrid ID. However, most of that is just an excuse to give him the obligatory coin power bonuses for his skills. Beyond some extra damage, you're not gonna get much else from those strats. Like any
God, it's like when my friends talk about magic, where I'm like, I know some of these words, but not in these combinations.
And plot. This sucker plays like the king in a game of chess. Not only is he using the other
I don't know how to
IDs
play
like
chess
pieces,
either.
but he even gets rewarded for sacrificing and withdrawing them. For example, the Lord of Hongyan Honglu can trigger the Heisho to attack by using his clashable counter to proc their skill 1, using his skill 3 to force a Heisho unit to use their skill 3, just plain being targeted when not countering or clashing and forcing the Heisho to take the hit instead by copying his own unbreakable clashable guard, and having an ally move from the backup team out to the field to proc their skill 1. Oh, and that one works for any ID.
To the
Not
field,
the
they're
Heisho
playing
and Jaw
baseball.
units get to use their skill 3 instead. And you get all that from just having the other IDs in the fight. Like, bless her heart, Ahab wishes she could command this kind of reverence. This means that as long as you have a sufficient number of uptied Heisho IDs, you've already unlocked a significant amount of this Honglu's power. Now from a gacha perspective, is that a good thing? Make of that what you will. But we're nowhere near done talking about how these guys buff Honglu V2. 3 of the Lord of Hongyan's 7 passives are buffs that are related to the number of Heisho units in the fight. First, we've got Leash Holder of all Heisho, which applies at the start of the encounter and adds a stack for every Heisho
Okay, the
unit
kind of
that's in the fight.
character
And
who
yes,
is
they
like
future
more
proofed
power
it for
based on
later
how many
IDs,
minions they
so
have.
max stack to 11. This buffs Honglu's min and max speed,
Makes me
defense
miss
level,
playing
offense
Smash
level,
Up.
and flat damage for every X stack. And if you have enough, trickle-down economics becomes real, and the Heisho get their own offense level and damage up buffs too. Now, considering that this value can only go up to 5 right now, and maybe 6 if we get another Heisho banner, I feel like the first X value here has gotta be 2 or 3 at highest. Cause I don't know, man, it feels weird to make a per X variable that the player can only stack once on release. And if I had to guess the Heisho buff thresholds, 3 or 4 feel right. I think 3's the minimum to call this a Heisho team, but since the ID teaser showed 4 units alongside him, there's a chance PM's gonna make you commit to the Polycule to get that buff. Alternatively, if you like the idea of 5 simultaneous pet funerals, there's Life from Death. It's a simple passive that adds a stack every time a Heisho pack ally dies and gives Honglu offense level up and damage up for every X stack, plus attack power up if enough of your friends cross the Rainbow Bridge. Now, losing an ally is still a pretty big cost, and I really hope this first X here is just 1, but I wouldn't put it past PM for you to have to lose 2 units to get 1 damage up. After all, La Mancha Dawn only got 2 damage up for all of her family dying, but power creep's a hell of a drug, and so are boluses. Fingers crossed that this is 1 and this is 3. Speaking of boluses though, last but not least, we've got Heisho Bolus Contamination. Like its sibling, this status has a max stack of 11.
What did the bolus from Mass Effect have to do with this?
Gets a stack of this every time he uses his skill 3, and it even picks a custom effect based on one of the Heisho IDs you have in the field. You can see all the different bonuses here, but personally, I think the extra rupture count from Mao Otis and base damage reduction from Mao Adept Faust go the hardest. Oh, and not only do these custom effects stack, but every stack ups the damage on both the skill 3 too and Honglu in general. And now we've covered all the buffs this ID gets from having his little personal army at his side. From this alone, you can tell that the main playstyle is to make the Heisho act as your personal shields, while Honglu slowly gets more power from them, either through rubbing their boluses in his eye hole or going sweeper on them and drinking their corpses. But that is just the base concept of the ID. We haven't even gotten into the skills yet, because here's the thing. Most IDs would use their skill 1 and skill 2 to build resources and strengthen their most powerful skill. And I will say, this ID has more interesting common skills than others. But even if the skill 1 is handy for making allies defend you, and the skill 2 is handy for giving you gluttony support, generation, and having 2 unbreakable coins, these are still the most boring parts of the kit. And I mean, hey, it's not their fault, it's just that Grandma's boy wants to use his skill 3 as often as humanly possible. And if you want to know why, it's because he has 3 of them! Answer Me Heisho packs makes you ask yourself one very important question. Are all of my friends dead? No matter the answer, Honglu will attack with a skill the enemy can't defend against, and then either use his skill 3-2 if the answer is no, or his skill 3-3 if the answer is yes. If any Heisho units are alive and unstaggered, Honglu will pick one of them after using the base skill 3, and have them use their own skill 3 afterward. From there, Honglu will follow up with his skill 3-2, which has the ability to inflict slash resist down on the next turn, plus an on-kill effect that heals SP to the most unwell Heisho unit and gives them attack power up on the next turn. The move also gets more base and coin power if the Heisho ID you pick is Faust, and is the only way that Heisho Bolus Contamination picks which special buff you get after finishing the move. On top of that, this skill really doesn't want you to get the same buff from the same ID over and over, and has a really cool way of going about it. See, every time a Heisho ID gets picked with the skill 3, they get a buff called Unrelenting Storm that gives them extra offense and defense levels based on the stack. Then, when you use the skill 3 again, it checks for which ID has Unrelenting Storm and makes sure to pick either the ID that doesn't have
that sounded like that
or
from like Context
so that
Clues.
Honglu just can get all of the diseases. Finally, if you factor in the fact that the Heisho skill 3s can have anywhere from 1 to 4 coins, it means that this move can hit the enemy a total of 7 times in a single skill. This is by far the ID's most powerful move, and it only gets stronger every time you use it. Alternatively, if the prodigal son stands on a throne of dead furries, or gets left on red, he'll go from his base skill 3 into his skill 3-3 instead. Both the skill 3-2 and this move get more powerful the closer both Honglu and the target are to dying, but this move also gets both a damage and an attack weight buff based on the amount of life from death he has. It also deals more damage from the number of negative effects the enemy has and the bolus contamination, similar to the other attack. But on kill, he'll buff himself with the extra attack up instead of his allies because, well, what use were they, I guess? Now the big question I have with this skill is, what is the base attack weight? We've seen at least one example of a modern ID having a base skill that has 3 attack weight by default. And if this skill has 3 attack weight like Heisho Roja's skill 3 and can be buffed to 5 or even 7 from life from death, then I can see this being a good end-stage attack for Hong Lu. But if it plays it safe and goes from just 1 to 3, then...
Yeah, you know the mechanics are insane when people sound like they're talking a whole ass different language.
It's a better cope than 2 damage up,
different
but
dialects.
It's still a cope. Regardless, that addresses all the base functions of the ID and how to empower him in battle. Once again, it really is as simple as having the other Heisho IDs and spamming that skill 3 as often as you can until either you or your enemies die. As long as you use Resonance as often as possible, your Heisho will keep defending you and almost certainly die first, so that you can get more power from the bolus contamination and life from death. It's just that easy. But what if you liked playing Limbus Company?
I'm just trying to understand what I'm hearing, and it sounds kind of similar to other games I've played, you know, like Darkest Dungeon.
Driver can come too. Why not? That's because this Hong Lu's counter
and Smash Up
makes his Heisho use their skill 1, but commands them to make a battlefield retreat and heals them. Now you might
involving, you know, sort of putting together a strategy or a team or something like that based on their various skills.
But unlike other units like Full Stop Heathcliff and the Deviant IDs that go to
mostly Darkest Dungeon.
This status puts them closer.
I really like that game. I gotta keep playing it.
Disclaimer: unlike Gmail, who undoubtedly places the ally at the front of the line, we can't know for sure yet if this battlefield retreat will do the same. But based on the wording, I'd like to think that it cuts in front of any non-Heisho ID toward the front of the line. And honey, if that's the case, get your fast.
Chess is like the only game I refuse to learn, besides like MOBAs.
First is the obvious. If you swap one Heisho ID out with another Heisho, you're gonna get a free SP boost and skill 3 use every turn you use this counter and proc that.
At some point in the past, I just decided I am never going to learn chess, and I have stuck to that. Probably because every single person I ever talked to about chess, when I was like, I don't know how to play chess, they were like, I'll teach you how to play chess, and I was like, I don't actually care about learning chess. Unfortunately, it has made it so that I don't understand a lot of common sayings and stuff like that when people refer to things with chess terms. I probably could learn chess.
You can force swap Heisho IDs early to bring them in on command, and then bring in an extra one once the boy starts to overdose on trunk juice. But on the flip side, don't expect to use a free skill 3 every turn just yet. Gmail's got a cap on the number of times she can apply Battlefield Retreat per encounter. Plus, she can only do it like once every 3 turns. Since Hong Lu's is connected to his counter, it could get pretty busted if we let him spam shuffle his team every turn. So chances are, PM's gonna put a cap on that too. And lastly, Battlefield Retreat has this funny habit of removing statuses from allies that leave the field, with some exceptions. So I wondered if this would remove resource effects, like Heisho Faust Tianju Star's Blade. Luckily, it looks like the retreat doesn't drop that. So while we can't be sure about every resource status, it's safe to say that the Heisho IDs won't have to worry. And a big thank you to Ultranum here for looking into that one for me, since I don't have either Gmail or Heisho Faust as of recording. But if you already saw that this idea was buffed to the 9s with Heisho support, 3 skill 3s, and actual new strategies, but still felt something was lacking? What if you were still left wondering, how does this synergize with Hong Lu's most iconic Keystone Ego? Well, I'm so glad you asked. See, this idea makes use of a lesser-known synergy. Since it has poise, it has the ability to crit. And due to that, this allows Soda Hong Lu to heal the ally with the lowest HP percentage for 8. Embrace the Tarnished Blood and exsanguinate others for the cause not only allows the Heisho to defend Hong Lu from unopposed attacks, but gives him a one-time Death Defiance effect. I say one time because this effect uses the same wording as Priest Gregory's passive, which stops him from dying for 1 turn. After Hong Lu cheats death, he gains the Tarnished Blood status, which stacks up to 5, gains a stack at the end of every turn, it makes him take 20% of his HP per stack in damage at the end of every turn. And he also gets a flat damage buff for his trouble. Based on this reading,
some baselines.
Single extra turn to act after staying alive, but will still be killed by Tarnished Blood.
Where's... I could have swore I did those.
If Hong Lu uses the Tears of the Tarnished Blood ego before he dies, well then I guess we really can call him Kong Lu. Under normal circumstances, this ego would proc when Hong Lu takes lethal damage, use a super move, and then kill him afterward. But with this ID, Tears of the Tarnished Blood becomes his skill 4, because his passive will negate the death remove the tarnished blood effect entirely, heal him back up, and give him damage up at every turn start afterward. I can't help but respect him for that. Oh, and also his support passive is nice if you're running Heisho units. I don't know, dog, what do you want me to say? Like, I still can't get over it. This guy just having a full kit of Heisho IDs empowers him so much. You'd at least need to build some kind of resource for Wild Hunt and La Mancha Landon, but nah. Here, you can just let your skill 3 rip, bring in the red-headed stepchild for style points, and throw out some bloodletting if you want to flex and have someone that can manifest envy. And considering that the teaser showed more than 5 sets of eyes behind him, we may very well have even more teammates, buffs, and bolus contamination effects yet. Then again, we still don't have Rosepin or Don Quixote though, so... y'all get the idea. That's my piece. What do you guys think of the ID? I'm still kind of conflicted about having so many archetype effects assigned to an ID. If anything, it's more funny, and I'm just curious to see how effective this really is. But by all means, feel free to put your thoughts down in the comments, and hey, whether this ages well or poorly, it's probably one of the best reasons I've had to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, so I ain't got regrets. And now it's time for the member and patron Q&A. Who do you think should get IDs based on Distortion Detective? I mean, I feel like there are 3 obvious candidates for this one, right? Otis as Moses, Don Quixote as Ezra, and Merceau as Vespa. I guess that's almost too perfect because Project Moon likes to give some sinners certain IDs that are just so different from their character. So instead of just Otis as Moses, I really like the idea of Yi Song as Moses. He still keeps that air of being smart and kind of aloof, but I feel like there's a little sense of humor that would come out more often with Yi Song than regular Moses would have. Oh, and Gregor as Urea, I refuse to elaborate. Bye!
Bye! Sounds like the kind of thing I would watch. Oh dang, he played on Mori, nice. Oh my god, okay, it's been about 2 hours. And my pen keeps dying and my laptop is heating up and I want to finish my little treaties and go to bed eventually. Okay, I get to work on these, but I'll work on them later. There's another commission. Face roast for now. Make sure I saved 50 billion times. Okay. I'm gonna do that later. You ever be so tired you're like sad about it? You're like sad about how tired you are. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna sign off. And I'm gonna get the good sleepy time. I do have to feed Pistachio, but after that, I'm gonna get the good sleepy time. Yes, hello, baby. Yes, I mentioned you. I mentioned you and food in the same sentence. Hello. She teleported and started headbutting me in the shins. Okay, hold on. Alright. Postures and stretches and hydrates, everyone. Good night.